this Friday afternoon from Fort Worth, a phenomenal day of Sweet 16 games on ESPN. We kick things off with a star-studded matchup between the 6-seed Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the 2-seed Vanderbilt Commodores. This Notre Dame team coming in at 24-10 overall on the season. Their head coach, Niele Ivey, in her 6th season at the helm at her alma mater. Shea Ralph, the SEC Coach of the Year, bringing the Commodores back here for the first time since 2009. As we get underway here, Notre Dame controlling the opening tip.
Look at this matchup. Vanderbilt will switch a lot. Who will have the responsibility to staying with Hannah Hidalgo?
Ball in the hands of Hidalgo. Contested shot with Washington in her face. Off the mark. Aubrey Godwin brings it back up for the Commodores. They'll look for number 1 in white for Vanderbilt as they get it inside to Washington. And picked up. Over to Justine Passat, being guarded on the perimeter by Cass Prosper. An overshot, Vanessa De Jesus, one of the transfers into the program. Nice bounce pass. Prosper can't finish at the rim.
And we were listening to the ladies in studio talk about who had the advantage. They talked about Notre Dame's experience because Vanderbilt's in uncharted territory. In the SEC tournament, there was a little bit of nerves. Ole Miss jumped on them early. Can Notre Dame do the same?
And the steals leader in the nation, Hannah Hidalgo, comes up with 1, and that's the first 2 points. This Vanderbilt team coming in at 29-4 overall, finished tied for 2nd in the SEC as Washington with a strong put-up.
The guards for both teams. Who's going to win this battle inside? Sasha Washington is the most veteran on the court to go inside, playing like a woman on a mission.
A player who was a part of Shea Ralph's first recruiting class, and the way that she is trying to cap off her senior season, it's been fun to watch this young lady from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yeah, it's been amazing the matchup she's had. I mean, she's played against the likes of a Reagan Beers in the SEC. She's used to going against bigger.
Vanessa De Jesus picks up her first personal foul. Notre Dame's team 2nd. And Galvin going right to the hoop. And again, the attack mentality, scoring prowess of Michaela Blakes, but she is also an outstanding defender as well. And think about this, the first Sweet 16 appearance, and what a amazing first season for Aubrey Galvin. Meanwhile, this group, Notre Dame, coming out of the ACC, boy, they have had their fair share of adversity, but I'll tell you, they've been anchored by core players like Hannah Hidalgo, Cass Prosper, who knocks down the shot. Blakes searching for her first points of the game, off the mark. Hidalgo taking it.
If she ends up with a smaller guard, they're always showing help to her and then contesting everything from 3 from Justine Passat.
Blakes puts it up and airmails it as Hidalgo grabs the rebound. Very active early on from Hannah Hidalgo. 4 points, 3 rebounds, couple of steals, but stolen away by Aubrey Galvin. And Galvin looking ahead to Blakes. That connection who has been so special all season long, and still not able to knock down the field goal is the nation's leading scorer. More than 5 minutes gone by in this Sweet 16 game.
Now, Michaela Blakes, that was a foul.
Indeed it was.
3-minute scoring drought, but she said it's because we're sticking together. She's also relayed to them, they are blowing up their plays, meaning that they understand the scout, making sure they're in the right place defensively.
Thanks so much, Angel, and already just setting the tempo defensively out of the league. And Hannah Hidalgo, and then Cass Prosper at the free throw line, 1 of 2.
Continuing to try to switch up things defensively.
Looking to get it inside to Mitchell. And taken away by one of the captains for Notre Dame. That's KK Bransford on the way to the hoop, and she's fouled. 10 points in that second round win over Ohio State, a game in which Notre Dame had to battle back, and she was back in her home state. Sweet 16 continues on ESPN and the app at 5 Eastern with North Carolina taking on the number 1 overall seed UConn, followed by Minnesota squaring off against 1 seed UCLA at 10 Eastern. The offensive foul waved off.
It looked like Washington was running away, and Moore grabbed her by the waist. I don't know, D? What do you think on that one?
Well, let's bring in our rules analyst, D. Canton.
Carolyn, you're a pretty good referee.
I saw that right.
Yes, you did see it right. I think we got a little bit of a rip by the opponent.
In Division I, Hannah Hidalgo's just a spectacular and dynamic guard that we have in our game right now. As Washington nearly falls to the floor, another steal right into the hands of Hidalgo. And then setting up the offense, Coles was trying to get position down low, but pacing things is the junior. And got to get moving. Tried to dump it off to Bransford with 2:18 to go with the first quarter. And DeJesus on the inbound, looking, finds Moore, who takes it in, and somehow the circus shot rolls around and goes down. About 15.5 points through the first 2 NCAA tournament games. Helps to stretch out the lead. Now 11-0 run.
But this is a scoring threat. It's a great addition for the Irish.
Moore, the 5th-year senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Her first point of the game for the AP first-team All-American. And with those 2 made free throws, and that's quite the company there. You think about Juju Watkins, the fantastic season she had last year in her freshman campaign. Kelsey Mitchell, who was just a sniper when she was at Ohio State, now in the WNBA. As the left hand finger roll put up.
It's either a quick switch or 2 are going to her.
And the idea that we heard from Neil Ivey, just as there is such a great respect for the game of Michaela Blake.
Because you either had if you don't switch to stop her, you got to foul her because she's going to the rack.
Carolyn, in terms of drawing fouls, and this is a player who's a National Player of the Year candidate.
But you see how patient Notre Dame is with the 4 spread. Going to use as much of the clock as possible.
Hidalgo goes to work with 7, swings it over to Moore, fakes inside to Coles, and Coles a second chance opportunity, no, and Blakes holds to try to get the final shot for the Commodores of this first quarter. Blake's crossover, runner, no, Galvin, rebound, put back and in. We knew that this would be an exciting game. Hey, look, the stars already shining in this one.
No easy looks for Michaela Blakes. Now, I have seen the adjustment Blakes to make it start with the basketball and just break you down one-on-one to get going. And then when that ponytail flips, it's on.
Meanwhile, Prosper going right, adjusting Passat, gets it back, Passat deflecting it away again. Blakes rolls on it, and it's going to be Vanderbilt basketball. Michaela Blakes, we mentioned, the nation's leading scorer, averaging 27 points a game, but they have been hard to come by. No field goals for Blakes. All 4 of her points have come from the free throw line. Bounce pass, great find from Coles to Prosper. Most improved player in the ACC.
Yeah, she's one of the core players that returned, one of the 3 that came back for Notre Dame. And she said she really worked on her self-confidence and knew that she could be a major part of this program.
More inside, a wide open Malaya Cole. So if you're just tuning in, it's been Notre Dame since 17-6 run, and another steal from Hannah Hidalgo. She's got 5 so far this afternoon, and she has recorded 5 or more steals, and she's got another one quickly back. Half a dozen steals as Hidalgo has been the difference maker on defense. Well, again, Cameron, you talked about just the experience of Notre Dame and the lack thereof for this Vanderbilt team.
Well, the difference in the defense. Notre Dame has got their hands all over you. They are up and aggressive. Vanderbilt on the defensive end more into a gap defense, so there's more pressure.
Here she's out. And running again is Hidalgo, picks the pocket, another steal, 7.
Because Hannah Hidalgo is so active, and at times she'll even leave her player because she knows she's going to be the first to the ball. She's got that kind of quickness. Just the steal and then score mentality.
And you asked her just about what goes into the mind of...
So now how does Vanderbilt accommodate that? They've got to be more patient offensively. They got to get Michaela Blake.
What do you notice most on the defensive end?
She anticipates when the opportunity is going to be there. I think her mindset, she said she wants to make the opponent uncomfortable. I think she's a little hungrier than that.
And the way she elevates in the lane and puts it in. It's all about Hannah Hidalgo and her Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The block from Hidalgo. Ladies and gentlemen, when you think about all the stat stuffing that Hannah Hidalgo does with her play, she tries to get another right there, and she's whistled for the foul. She kind of pinballed between a couple of Vanderbilt defenders.
Now, how does Vanderbilt combat that? One of the things I used to do as a coach, the best defensive player, I'd run my offense opposite her. So that you can handle the ball away from her, and then whoever she's guarding that's away, you can screen, buying that offensive player.
Facing Coles.
Vanderbilt in that matchup zone.
High arcing jump shot won't fall. And Blake tries to flip it in. And I'll tell you, that's a savvy way of picking up points. Shots not falling for you. For tournament game times and networks, go to NCAA.com. Hidalgo showing off the handles, pulls it back out, going right back towards the hoop. Tough shot, no. And Blix comes down with the rebound.
You got to compliment Jada Brown for the defense on Hidalgo that possession.
Pull up 3, rims off for Blix. And then another foul going against Notre Dame.
So now for the rest of this quarter, Vanderbilt will be in the bonus.
Blake's not able to knock it down. Just 1 of 11 from the floor for Michaela Blix. Aubrey Galvin tries to take it in. Circus, oh my goodness! Did y'all just see that? Woo! Okay, Aubrey Galvin. Got some oohs and ahs inside Dickies Arena.
May have struggled early on, but she got tricks up. Where does that swag come from? She goes, well, I work out with Jewel Lloyd. I've studied Jason Williams and Steve Nash. I don't know if she was even born when they played, but she said, I would get bored on the court, so I would look for things to stretch my game, and it's plays like that.
You think about the years that Jewel Lloyd had at Notre Dame, an All-American, WNBA champion. And Galvin launches the 3. She got it! First triple of the afternoon hit for the Commodores. They're on a 9-0 run. They draw within a possession. Hidalgo going right into the rack.
That's a one-woman offense right there, even out of a double team.
And she has been a one-woman wrecking crew in this first half. Galvin hit check. Ava Black making it difficult And forcing the turnover there as they get it in the hands of Blakes.
Now remember,
2-point ball game.
Hannah Hidalgo's got 2 fouls.
Leaves it short, does Blakes. Final minute of the first half. This Sweet 16 game, the winner will move on to the Elite 8 as Prosper is fouled. The senior out of Montreal, Quebec, is at the line. When you think about a player, you talked about part of that nucleus who returns. And for Cass Prosper, thrived in all areas. We talked about her scoring improvement.
Vanderbilt could go 2 for 1.
Blake's trying it, no call, a lot of contact as Hidalgo pushing back the other way, trying to step around Jada Brown and puts it in. 8 of 13 from the floor for the junior guard. Aubrey Galvin, 9.9 seconds remaining in the first half. That's Vanessa De Jesus' 3rd personal foul.
Another 3-point threat that helps spread the floor. So when she's out of the game, Vanderbilt can sag to help toward Hidalgo a little bit more. Vanderbilt's going to have to pick up Hidalgo on this possession because she got enough time to make something special happen.
Hidalgo, they try to help her. Oh, wait! The sauce just rims off. And that takes us to the close of the first half. Best interceptor, if you will, steals getter in the country. She had 7 in that first half.
It's been the other number 3 for Vanderbilt. Aubrey Galvin has 13 points that has kept the Commodores in striking distance.
She scored the last 9 points for the Doors going into the locker room. Vanessa De Jesus thought about the 3, tried to get it inside, deflected, and taken away by Vanderbilt. Blake's in double figures with 10, along with Galvin, who leads the way for Vanderbilt with 13. Quick release for Blake Snow, offensive rebound, and then stolen away by Cass Prosper out of the break. 14 fast break points. Things happen quickly.
Yeah, Notre Dame's best offense has been Vanderbilt's turnovers. Again, another one.
Into the hands of Hidalgo. Going right in, and she's fouled. A star-studded game we have here with Hidalgo out of Merchantville, New Jersey. Grew up just about an hour away from Somerset, New Jersey, where Michaela Blakes is from. As here's our Saturday Sweet 16. 1 seed Texas over on ESPN. Then Oklahoma faces off. Lone double-digit 10 seed still standing in Virginia taking on TCU.
I love the women's game has a Cinderella story with Virginia, and then you also have the rematch of South Carolina and Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the team that got a victory over the Gamecocks this season.
Was able to win on their home floor in overtime over the Gamecocks, as that one following her own shot, and Aubrey Galvin stepping up on the biggest stage of her college career, her first ever Sweet 16. Prosper over to Ayanna Moore, the sharpshooter for 3, has it halfway go down and pop back out.
What I'm looking for, Tiffany, is in the SEC tournament, Michaela Blakes 0 for 10 in the first half field goals, but she ended up with 24 points in that game.
But you get contributions like that unexpectedly from Winantanda knocking down the top of the key 3.
Ayanna Moore. She can shoot at 23. He's got range.
Dumps it inside to Coles and a shot clock violation.
Make many threes, but that one was right on time.
Just her 20th triple of the season as Galvin being guarded by the much bigger Prosper, and the turnover on the baseline into the hands of Hidalgo.
That's another steal for Hidalgo.
And they turn it into points. You said that earlier, that's the best medicine thus far for this Notre Dame team, as they have capitalized, scoring 18 points off of 19 turnovers for Vanderbilt, make it 20 now. And put in another deuce for Hannah Hidalgo now with 20 points.
Let me tell you what's fun to watch is Hannah steals or scores, comes down the floor, and looks at Skylar Diggins.
Well, we heard Angel talk about just the great mentor that she is as Jada Brown knocks down the three. So 4-14 from beyond the arc, and those threes helping to keep things close for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, no lead is comfortable for the Irish because of the three-point threat of Vanderbilt. Oh, what a quick step by Prosper.
Well, I tell you, just again, the way that she has taken her game to this next level, member of the Olympic Canadian team, and then knocked down the triple right there. Blake's, those field goals who have been hard to come by for her, the long two. One-handed pass into KK Bransford.
Now the biggest problem in the differential is points off turnovers. Notre Dame is winning that 8-2.
Losing the handle, and now that ties a season high for turnovers with 20 now for the Commodores.
Yeah. Notre Dame winning that 18-2 points off turnovers.
Posada on the floor finds Coles inside, and Malaya Coles puts it in. Malaya Coles now with 8 points as Notre Dame has had success in the paint with 36. First points of the day, one of the players in double figures for a season average for the Commodores. Moore launching three, no. Black coming down with the rebound. One of the freshmen on this team, along with Aubrey Galvin. And Blake's working inside. No call there. Some contact. She ends up on the floor. Hannah Hidalgo has the ball in her hands and runs right into Passat. Count the bucket. Just in talking to Hannah Hidalgo yesterday, she came into this game with a different level of intensity in her eyes.
Yeah, and the Sweet 16 has been an area where Hannah Hidalgo has struggled offensively. It's because in her previous Sweet 16, 0 for 6 from the three-point line. Today, she has been very aggressive.
That's an excellent point, Carolyn. You think about how she performed in those first couple of rounds, 20-plus points, but again, when she makes it to the Sweet 16, it's been a different story, averaging just about 12 and a half points in the round of 16 as Galvin comes back the other way with the mid-range jumper. And through the first two quarters, it was Notre Dame who had players that we were monitoring in terms of foul trouble with Hidalgo, Prosper, and Bransford. They had 2 to start this quarter, along with 3 for the Jesus, but they have since managed that well thus far with 150. And when we watched her in that last game, she was very emotional after that win against Ohio State. She was concerned about them getting off to a slow start. They were down by 11 points at one point as Galvin is fouled on the three.
A lot of times players can be worried about, am I going to make my shot? I hope the offense works. What did Neil Ivey do? Put the focus on the defensive end, and you got to stop the top scorer in the country.
For the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com. Another one coming your way with North Carolina and UConn. Right after this one, we'll see Minnesota, UCLA in action along with Duke and LSU tonight. And then Player of the Year candidates, finalists, as they have been ever efficient. And when you watch AZ Fudd play, I mean, so efficient.
Now that she got her nails done, 8 for 10 from the three-point line in their last game.
Gina Oriema having something to say about just filing down those nails. Don't be so aggressive towards the basketball. As a nice step through from KK Bransford. The lead back out to 8.
Where Notre Dame has turned up, rebounding, because Vanderbilt was dominating in that category.
33-21 on the boards in favor of Notre Dame as Galvin swings it over to Blakes. And Blakes, tough make, kissing it off the glass. 14 points now.
Got to trap Hidalgo, otherwise she can make magic happen.
Hidalgo going to work, the handle showing off and pops out. Wrestling for the basketball, it's going to be Vanderbilt ball.
There's enough time.
The gather, and left short.
Cutting down the turnovers. 10 in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, only 4 in that third. They're going to have ball security in this fourth if they don't want their season to be over.
The winner of this one will face off against our second game winner between UConn and North Carolina, which is coming up roughly at 5 o'clock Eastern, or about 30 minutes after this one concludes. And as Hannah Hidalgo continuing to drop points and answering back the other way.
It's going to be these two New Jersey players that are going to decide the outcome of this one.
Great find and bounce pass, but the block from Ayanna Mitchell of that shot from Prosper. Back the other way. It's Blakes. But no gather as it bounces off, but she'll go to the line. When you think back to that first, she had the majority of her points coming from the free throw line. She is a perfect.
Galvin's got the responsibility on the ball. Who's going to rotate to help?
Well overshot by DeJesus. Jada Brown on the way to the hoop and draws the foul. So that's Hannah Hidalgo's third personal foul. The resurgence that we have seen from this Vanderbilt program under Shea Ralph's leadership. Jada Brown was a part of that first signing class for Ralph. And Ayanna Moore was also a part of it now with Notre Dame.
I mean, Shea Ralph really complements the dependability of Jada Brown, especially on the defensive end. See Brown, she's going to shade wherever Hannah Hidalgo is.
And Hidalgo just can't be stopped. Hannah Hidalgo, who is just put on a show this afternoon. And we wondered who would take the shine, but also sharing that spotlight. One possession ball game. Fifth straight Sweet 16 for the Fighting Irish. Moore kicks out to Jesus. Open look from 3. Corner pocket, got it. And just relentless. Just has a great nose for the basketball, does Hidalgo.
She's so competitive.
Galvin picks up the dribble, finds Brown. Single digits now on the shot clock. Over to Blakes. And Blakes with the and one. Well, she hits the deck a whole lot of times during the game.
And then falls to the floor and looks at us like, where's the foul? That one, the defense is going towards her and makes illegal contact. The difference in the plays.
We'll see who else can try to rebound and score the way that she's done. As the Jesus, another open look from 3. No, as Passat is able to haul it in. And Galvin, the freshman point guard for Vanderbilt, slowing things down off the screen. The 3, she hits the tie. That was all in a rhythm for Aubrey Galvin, who has knocked down 3 threes in this game, but that one was a big one. And he talked about the rebounding margin for Vanderbilt. Grabbing another board, 39-22. The spin move won't fall in. And Hidalgo can push the pace. She's got numbers, going right in, reads it all, and puts it in. Well, she's already threatened with a couple of triple-doubles in her first 2 games. And a savvy play from the junior guard.
And that's because when I was able to talk to Vandy's strength and conditioning coach, Jenna Reddy, I asked her what it was like trying to train Michaela Blakes, and she said the message to her this season was strong things don't break. She has a mentality that you cannot train. She was labeling it as the Connexon wearable technology that they use, where we've already tracked that she runs about 4 miles in a game, but her relentlessness, being able to stay and sustain that type of motor is what's helped her the most.
And after the block on one in, just over 4 minutes to go. Notre Dame trying to break their curse as Mitchell with the emphatic block there. Third block of the afternoon on a defensive end for Vanderbilt to go along with the fantastic dish from Galvin as a tough shot from Hidalgo off the miss. And on the break, it's Blakes. No call there. A lot of contact, and it's going to be Notre Dame basketball.
Anna Moore up top has her hand on the ball. A high five.
Hidalgo slowing the pace down in the half court.
Hidalgo off ball screens in this horn set. They have been able to find shooters in the corner.
As you just mentioned, CP, and Moore can't connect. And that is a big foul because that's number 5 on Vanessa De Jesus. She fouls out the ball game in the hands of Hidalgo quite a bit, along with Moore, who can also share those ball handling duties as Blakes is at the line. First missed free throw.
Skylar Diggins giving advice to Hannah Hidalgo and helping her stay focused to close out. And there's a little over 2 minutes left to go.
First lead of the game for Vanderbilt. You have to go back to the first quarter when they led 5-4, but quickly grabbed right back by Notre Dame. The make from Moore, 61-60, inside of 2 minutes. And a trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Blakes grabs the lead right back. She elevates on that jumper. 26 points now for Blakes.
See now, KK Bransford, you don't have Vanessa De Jesus as a 3 option. It's Iona Moore, the top of your screen.
Prosper taking it in. The blocking foul going against Vanderbilt. 2 timeouts remaining for each. Vanderbilt does have 2 fouls to give. Meanwhile, they are in the bonus the rest of the way.
And here's where Vanderbilt has been able to stay in the game. They have attempted 23 free throws. They're 19 of 23, and they are in the bonus.
Tied once again, 62 apiece. Galvin gets it across. Hidalgo on Blakes. And Galvin, who's been excellent in her first year, but this one's stolen away by Hidalgo and giving Notre Dame the lead right back. Boy, Hannah Hidalgo with her steals this afternoon has been a difference maker. Now with 10 total as there's a foul whistle.
Yeah, Hannah Hidalgo with the freshman trying to handle the basketball. She might have got a little arm there, but she got away with it. The thief of the Irish, the steal score mentality.
But also important here to note that was Hannah Hidalgo's 4th foul, and that sends Aubrey Galvin to the line and stops the clock. And Galvin, a 79% free throw shooter, hits the first.
Now, will Neil Ivy use a timeout and advance the ball? She only has 2 timeouts.
She does not. So Hannah Hidalgo, her 10th 30-point game of the season, 10 steals, so another double-double, and they get it to the hands of their playmaker.
And again, in this horn set, because they can have shooters in the corner, they can get an isolation of a post inside.
Splitting, couple of defenders, losing the handle, regaining, no. And Cole's coming up with an important offensive rebound, and then Notre Dame calling a timeout. If you want to keep your season going, and I mean, neither team has made things easy for the other. It's Bransford on the inbound, trying to get it to Hidalgo, nearly stolen away, but Hidalgo finds Prosper for the 2. The lead taken by Notre Dame, and now Vanderbilt spins a timeout. So the out-of-timeout play works.
With 95 made threes, Michaela Blake's 93, and Aubrey Galvin has made 57. Now, if the 3's not there, then attack, because the 2 will tie this thing up.
They get it back to Blake's, and losing the handle on the basketball and turns it over. .6 remaining.
Yeah, Notre Dame's got to get it in. They do not have a timeout.
And making it difficult. A collision there as Moore, and there's a quick foul there by Jada Brown. They've got another foul to give. Does Vanderbilt.
And the inbound goes closer to the Vanderbilt basket.
And Blake's. And Brown right there to try to slow down Hidalgo. So that's the final foul for Vanderbilt. They quickly stop the clock, 14.2 seconds remaining.
She's 4 of 6 today.
The first one rims out for the senior out of Montreal.
Shay Ralph communicates, make or miss a timeout.
She nails the second one. That timeout spent by Vanderbilt. Their final, it's still a one-possession ball game. Galvin is knocked down 3 threes. Jada Brown has hit one along with Winantanda. They get it into Galvin. And this is poked away from behind by Hidalgo.
Yeah, same play. Now you're going to watch. Justine Passat went complete opposite side, so that skip pass could be there.
Galvin on the inbound. She gets it right back from Passat. Galvin for 3. No, she follows her own shot. Gets it back. Blakes puts it up. Not gonna make it. That's it. 5 straight trips to the Sweet 16, but none sweeter as the Irish are able to break through and move on to the Elite 8 for the first time since 2019. 11th Elite 8 appearance in program history for the Fighting Irish.